Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing COMM 225 Chapter 1 Introduction to Operation Management. So the legend, so anything already highlighted in yellow, that's our chapter title. In blue underneath that is our heading for that chapter, and in green is our subheading. So you can see learning objectives 1, it will be in yellow, 2 will also be another highlighted in yellow. So let's look at the main points, our learning objectives for this chapter. So one, describe the key aspects of operation management decision making. Two, describe the scope of operations management and provide an overview of this course. Three, compare production of goods and services. Four, discuss the operation manager's job. Five, describe the key aspects of operation management decision making. Six, briefly describe the historical evolution of operations management. And then seven, identify the major trends in operation management. So let's start with chapter number 1, definitions of operation management. So operations management is the management of processes that create goods and or provide services. So it's already in bolded, but I'll highlight it in orange. So management of process to create goods and provide services. Operations management is one of the three major functions and one of the costliest functions of any organization. So one of the three other or the two other major functions are finance and marketing in an organization. So we're focusing on just the operations. So operations management is linked to competitiveness and how corporate strategies rely most on operations. So let's look at examples of managing operations. So the fast food restaurant industry, so managing raw materials, the cost, the inventory, scheduling of employees and staff, managing orders, controlling the waiting times, managing the delivery related functions such as the time, the quality of the order themselves, etc. Look at the airline industry, so handling the ground support, facility management, equipment management, scheduling of the crews, pricing of the tickets. Manufacturing, so managing raw material, managing finished goods inventory, planning the resources such as machines and workforce, managing the quality of the products themselves. So banks, so managing the workforce such as managers, cashiers, security staff, scheduling the workforce such as scheduling the workforce, yeah. So managing customers, locating the servicing ATMs. So that's it for defining the operations management. So let's look at value added. So value addition is transforming inputs to outputs. The function of operation is to add value. Let me put that in green. Add value during the transformation process. So value added is cost of inputs minus your value divided by price of outputs. So input is any building, labor, machines, materials, and output is products or services or both. So nonprofit organizations, so jobs such as highway construction, policy, firemen, ambulance, their their value outputs is their value to society. The greater the value added, the greater the efficiency of their operations. So for-profit organizations, so jobs such as airlines, fast food restaurants, car dealerships, banks, their value output is measured by the prices that customers are willing to pay for those goods or services. An example of this is car companies will add additional features to cars if the consumer is willing to pay more for them, such as a sunroof, such as maybe seating or the cushions of the car itself. I think you could also change the color of your seats, different types of leather, like all those different additional features that cars add. So operations interfaces. So there are many functions that interface with operations, such as logistics, accounting, management, information system, purchasing, human resources, manufacturing, maintenance, design, and development. So let's look at goods versus services. So goods and services are important to the economy. Goods are a tangible output. We can see, touch, or use it. So let me highlight that in pink. So a tangible output. Services is an act. So I'll put that in purple. So it's an act. We receive a service brought by someone or something. So Differences between goods and services. So let's look at goods. So it's a low response time, low customer contact, inventoried output. You have a physical product, regional or international market. You have large facilities to create these goods, capital intensive, and in quality can be easily measured of the good itself. Services, on the other hand, have high customer contact. It's an intangible product, which means that we can't really see it, cannot be inventoried, short response time. You have local markets, small facilities, labor intensive, and in quality measurement is difficult. We each have our own measurement of what a good service is. Service has grown faster than goods and accounts for 79% of the jobs in Canada. So, an example of goods and services jobs. So, for the goods, we have automobiles, appliances, clothing, computers, phones, and food. Services, we have legal advice, house cleaning, consulting services, haircuts, therapy sessions, and mechanics that provide a service to your car and look at it. So, for the operations manager's job, so the operations manager has the ultimate responsibility for the creation of goods and delivery of services. Operations managers' activities vary depending on the organization and the nature of goods or services produced. The operation manager must coordinate the use of resources through the management activities of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. So we could see here planning. I'll put this in red. You have the capacity, the location, the mix of products, the production process, and the layout. Organizing is the degree of centralization. You have the departments, subcontracting, suppliers, and staffing. Controlling, you have inventory control, your quality control, your production pace, the motivation, and the cost control. And lastly, directing, scheduling, the insurance of work orders, job assignments, purchasing, and logistics. So you could pause this and make sure you're aware of all the different things that planning, organizing, controlling, and directing have for the operation managers. So let's look at 5 operations managers and decision making. Operation managers exert the degree to which the goals and objectives are realized. This section describes general approaches to decision making, including the use of models, quantitative techniques, performance metrics, analysis of trade offs, the systems approach, establishing priorities, and ethics. So let's look at models first. So, model is the abstraction of reality, a simplified representation of something with many different types. We can have our physical models, we have mathematical models, we have schematic models, and statistical models. A model ignores unimportant details in the real world and focuses solely on the problem and its solution. This class uses mathematical and schematic and statistical models. So, one, we learn the purpose of the models. We how each model is used to generate results. 3, how results are interpreted and used. 4, what assumptions and limitations apply. So let's look at quantitative techniques. So quantitative techniques is the methods that focus on objective measurements and analysis of numbers in order to draw conclusions. So let me highlight that. On objective measurements to draw conclusions. Optimization, it's finding the best solution to a mathematical model. You want to optimize your time. Everyone uses optimization in the real world and just their normal vocabulary. So that's pretty much what it means. In this case, when we use optimization, we mean to the best solution for a mathematical model. So queuing techniques, it's analyzing situations in which waiting lines form. So the best way we could maybe have a waiting time so the customer doesn't wait too long. So project scheduling technique, it's program evaluation and review technique for planning, coordinating, controlling large-scale products or projects. So forecasting techniques, we have forecast demand that we're going to talk about in a later chapter. Statistical techniques, quality control. Heuristic is a quick way to find a good solution. So performance metrics, managers use metrics to manage and control operations, metrics relating to profits, the costs, quality, productivity, the flexibility, assets, inventory, schedules, and forecast accuracy. So analysis of trade-off. So trade-off is a balance achieved between two incompatible features. An example of this is equipment. A manager will evaluate features of the equipment relative to the cost being higher or lower. So I'm just missing a G here, so let me write that. So being higher or lower, managers list the advantages and disadvantages, so the pros and cons when they're picking the trade-off of an equipment, let's say. So the systems approach. So system is a set of interrelated parts that must work together. The systems approach emphasizes interrelationships among these parts. Systems enable us to see how work actually gets done, which is through processes and functional boundaries. So we have research and development, which comes with research, your product development. Then you have your manufacturing, which is plants, such as new product ideas, materials from the supplier on the bottom here. I'll just get rid of that. Marketing and sales. You have your marketing, you have the sales, the needs of the customer themselves. So you guys can pause this and just look at the diagram, make sure you're aware of everything that happens. So the systems approach is essential whenever a product is being designed, redesigning, and implementing, improved, or otherwise changed. So establishing priorities. Pareto phenomenon, it's few things will be very important for achieving an objective or solving a problem, and many things. So the Pareto phenomenon is also known as the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the results come from 20% of the factors. This concept can be applied to all decision making, both professional and personal. So this is a really popular phenomenon that a lot of people like to use in regards to a lot of things, not just in business. So it's the 80-20 rule. So in ethics, let's look at that. So ethics is the moral principles that govern a person's behavior. So managers have the responsibility to make ethical decisions. Ethical issues arise in worker safety, product safety, the environment, closing facilities. So when making decisions, the managers must consider how their decisions will affect shareholders, employees, customers, suppliers, and the environment. So six, historical evolution of operations management. So craft production, so skills workers using simple, flexible tools produce goods according to customer specification. Craft production was slow and costly, so production costs did not decrease as volume increased. So this is known as economies of scale. What economies of scale is larger plants, the favoring of larger plants by causing unit costs to decrease as size increases. So the more volume you create, the less it will cost you per unit. That's pretty much what economies of scale mean. So here we have in the Industrial Revolution. I won't go too deep into them. It's just it began in the 1700s, substituting machine power for human or animal power. Notable inventions such as the steam engine. Division of labor, it's breaking up production process into small tasks so that each worker performs a small portion of the overall job. Interchangeable parts, parts of a product made to such precision that they do not have to be custom fitted. Let's look at the scientific management. So scientific management is applying science to observe, measure, and analyze and improve work methods, including economic incentives. So let me highlight that. So moving assembly line, a type of assembly line in which the product is pulled along the line at a fixed speed while the workers assemble its parts. Mass production, a system of production in which large volumes of standardized goods are produced by low-skilled or semi-skilled workers using highly specialized, costly equipment. So decision models in computers in the 1960s, it's a widespread of use of machine automation, fast computation for sales and sending and receiving data. Business analytics comprises software used to build analysis models and simulations to create scenarios, understand realities, and predict future states. Data mining, predictive analytics, applied analytics, and statistics. So 7 major trends. This is the last one. This should already be highlighted in yellow. So organizations must constantly monitor major trends affecting their operations and take them into account in their strategies and tactics. So let me highlight that. Constantly monitor major trends affecting their operations. So some major trends affecting operations are as follows. 1, the internet and e-commerce. 2, technology. 3, globalization. It's the worldwide movement toward economic, financial, trade, and operations integration. 4, we have supply chain, a sequence of organizations involved in producing and delivering a product. Sustainability, reduced use of resources and harm to the environment so that the future is not threatened. That's it for chapter 1. Thank you.